Hi and welcome to CX Today. I'm Rees Fischer, Deputy Editor, and I'm delighted to be joined by Emmanuel Dubinsky, Director of Product at Scoreb. Today we're going to be exploring quality assurance automation and just how far we can push AI. Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Rees. I'm very well. It's a cold, snappy day in Dublin today, but I'm sure I will be perfect for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's very similar here in South Wales as well. So if you could just start off by explaining how Scoreb is using AI in its quality assurance solutions.
Sure, Rees. So Scoreb is using AI, Gen AI, in two ways. The first thing we announced a few months ago was the introduction of Gen AI to produce auto scoring for our QA evaluators and agents. What that does is it scores automatically part or whole of your current QA process. And the benefits are tremendous. It highlights really large trends across agents, teams, and groups. And you can even give some very appropriate coaching recommendation when requested. The second thing we're doing on Gen AI is we're launching a set of embedded features where basically we bring Gen AI across all our workflows, all our user experience. And the goal we're trying to have there is to help our users make more educated decisions faster in every aspect of the workflow, from scoring manually to spreading results, to learning from them, to learning, self-learning for agents, etc.
Great. So you talk about how automated quality assurance has been, a complete game changer for contact centers in terms of just the sheer number of interactions that can be evaluated and scored now. But are there any challenges that come with having access to all of that data, I suppose?
Yes, of course. So just as a reminder, Gen AI auto scoring can score up to 100% of your interactions. It can automate 50 to 70% of the work you're doing today. It's bringing you data you never had before, and it's bringing you a lot of data. So one of the challenges is to digest that data, understand it, and share it. So to facilitate that, we have one of our solutions is an embedded BI tool, which actually enables you to navigate through that data in a very flexible and rapid way and share it using beautiful PDFs that are actually very nice to look at, but really showing the value of what's going on in your activities. So digesting the data is the first challenge. There's a lot more now than there was before, and there's much more interesting things to discover as well. The second challenge you could have while deploying Gen AI in a contact center is understandable reluctance from agents to be judged by a machine, and they are right. The machines are not better than them. We are humans, we're better than the machine, and the machine is not judging them. That is the first part of the message. The machine is there to highlight trends, help them in their own self-development, help their managers understand where they need to help. It's about bringing everybody together. It's not about having a bigger stick to hit everybody. Quite the opposite, actually. It is a very, very good tool to bring everybody together around QA goals. And the last challenge that you could face while deploying Gen AI into your QA practice is often Gen AI looks very different to what you used to do. You're a QA manager, you have your spreadsheet, your PowerPoint, you have maybe a tool like Scoreb. You have a very strict governance on what needs to be assessed and how it is shared and how it is reviewed and challenged and corrected, how it leads to coaching sessions, etc., etc. Your QA governance is right. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. The challenge for Gen AI solution is to bring their technology to your governance. This is what we're really happy to try and do as best as we can. And so far, we've been really thanked by customers because that's what we do. We help them put their QA governance on steroid, not leave it to do something completely different.
Yeah, that's great. That's really interesting. I really like that idea of sort of placing the onus on the AI rather than the customer.
Yes.
So 2025 has been described as the year of proof for AI. Can you talk about how companies can sort of effectively measure their ROI from their quality assurance AI implementations and maybe outline some areas where perhaps it delivers the most value?
Yes, of course. So first of all, to give some background, why are people saying 2025 is such a year for AI? Well, there's two references to that. One is the AI Act from the EU, which will come in place next year, which is the first initiative from any bodies, public bodies, to actually regulate AI. It's a very welcome initiative. It's probably not the last one. We're going to see a lot of evolution of that and a lot of copies of that as well. But it's a welcome one because it's the only way to bring trust around the AI practice. The second reason why we're talking about 2025 is the usual Gartner hype cycle, which Gartner is very good at modeling new technology, is saying the new technology goes through a hype cycle that everybody expects whole incredible things, and that it slowly goes down to actually delivery time. And as it goes down to delivery time, it delivers much less, but it actually starts delivering. So everybody believes that Gen AI is arriving to that cycle, at the cost of that cycle, and it's starting delivering, and this is what we see. So Gen AI is not a silver bullet that's going to transform and annihilate everybody. It's going to make life much easier, much better, much more insightful to many people. And we see that in reality. So the best return that customers can get on that is, the first thing is automating your manual task. This is an immediate ROI. It's instead of doing 100% of manual tasks, you can start offloading a big part of that, let's say 50, 75% of that to the machine. So that enables you as an evaluator to do better your job, to do more coaching, more education, more analysis, etc. The second benefit of automating Gen AI is it widens the scope of what you look at. You actually look at more conversation. You can highlight much more issues and realize trends that you had no idea before because you were missing the facts. And the third point is, because Gen AI can also do stuff that you wouldn't bother doing manually because you don't have the time, you can actually deepen the scope of your QA and go much further on communication skills and interactions and customer really insight metrics that you wouldn't bother normally with QA. Well, you can extend that now much better with Gen AI.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thanks for that. I find that really interesting, especially stuff around regulation, sort of seeing that as a sort of bonus rather than a hindrance, something that will help the industry. So when it comes to introducing, automated quality assurance in the contact center, what factors do you think businesses should consider to determine when human intervention is necessary versus relying solely on AI?
That's a very good question. So there's two aspects to that. When do we need humans? So we need humans all the time. That's the first thing. Okay, Gen AI is as good as you make it. You make it, not it. It's not making itself. So there's two areas where you could highlight why humans are actually leading the way, although they could be helped by Gen AI to cover all that ground. The first one is, I mentioned early on that Gen AI is very good at covering 100% of the organization, so it can highlight compliance risks, which could be regulatory fine, could be serious issues, could be like a brand issue, could be actually behavior thing that you don't want to have. You're not a company that treats vulnerable customers like that. You're a company that respects them. Just check that you are, okay? So Gen AI is great at highlighting potential risks of that. When it's a financial risk or a compliance risk, you want to have a human look at it. It's too serious to let the machine calculate it. It's also too serious if it has an HR impact. If it possibly put an employee on a revision plan or whatever that is, you have to have a human take ownership of that. The machine won't do that. Okay, you can't try. It's not a calculation anymore. All right. That's one aspect why you will need human in the loop, is to validate the results when they are really important. The second thing where you require human is at the agent level. One of the first benefits of Gen AI is that it enables agents to self-develop. Why? Because it's also a communication tools towards the agent to say, oh, did you notice this? Did you notice that? Oh, you're doing well on this. Why not improve on that? We're launching a feature which we probably will brand an agent buddy, which really text box that says, you're great at that, continue. You're not so good at that. That's what they need to see. They need to see what they're good at as well. And they need to see where they could improve. Self-learning requires that human. The machine is only telling stuff on the screen. It's not doing it. The agent will do it. So if we implement our stuff well, if our customers deploy well, the agent will be part of that process and they will dominate the process. And that's a success story for an AI deployment.
Yeah, absolutely. So sort of moving away from AI slightly, are there any other trends that you're seeing for quality assurance, like I said, outside of the AI bubble, if you will?
Yes, so indirectly. So it's going to start with AI again, but really it's interesting to see that. So the first impact that AI has on our clients is it automates part of the frontline process. So you could start automating routine support questions like change your password and stuff like that with AI bots, which do it very, very well. So what that means is the complex questions are not going to the agents, not the easy one. It's not about change my password. It's about I tried 3 times that link. It doesn't work. What do I do? And the agent needs to understand we're outside the playbook now. The playbook has been delivered and it's not working. So you need to have agents that are able to really deal with that uncertainty, understand who they need to call, to what level that problem could be extended to other things. We need agents with initiatives, qualification, more education. Their job is becoming more qualified. So that has a number of impact that have nothing to do with AI directly, but really are the consequence of that. The training and the coaching are evolving. We see that trend really across contact centers. Coaching is more important than ever because agents need to be more qualified. It has to be more frequent and better delivered. The second thing, really beneficial one, is because the job becomes a little bit more complex, a little bit more qualified, we believe, we can't prove it now, but we believe agent retention will become better because the job will become better as well. So it's the irony of the automating things so supposedly to replace agent. We actually will be able to hang on to the good ones very easily. So that's one trend we see. Because coaching is important, we see new coaching trend emerging. They're not that new, but we see them more and more dominating. So one of them is strengths-based coaching, which is basically based on highlighting an agent's strengths so that you can consolidate them as opposed to pointing out their weakness and hope they correct them. So it's a different way to look at coaching. We see more and more collaborative coaching whereby the coach, the team lead engage with the agent in a very interactive and proactive session. Our product facilitates that as well. But it's not just our product as a feature. We see the practice really deploying a lot. And more and more peer coaching, where agent good at something will coach their colleague on something and vice versa. But this is a trend we see as well. In the QA scoring, QA evaluation, we see more and more peer scoring as well appearing because peer scoring enables agents to also look at themselves. They look at their peers and while they do that, they also look at themselves. And one trend we see in the QA space is we see more and more mention of customer insights. How about the customer? QA is always about the agent. What about the customer? What are we learning about that QA process? And we see that as a trend.
Oh, well, yeah, that's particularly interesting, that last section, that move to more customer insights. It'll be really interesting to see how that develops, I suppose, over time. So just to finish, I think we'll ask kind of the main question that we've been talking about here. How far do you think we can push AI in the quality assurance space?
The real answer, nobody knows, because 2 years ago, nobody knew about LLMs. What would be the next 3-letter acronym that comes in a year? No, we don't know that. What we see is Gen AI as a technology makes it more accessible to non-data scientists to start analyzing and automating things. So Gen AI is trained on, LLMs are trained on the internet, and they understand what you ask. So that makes two effects on that. It means with Gen AI, you can have result without being a data scientist. It's a little bit more than word processing, and prompt engineering has more to it, but it is typing text. It's not programming. You need to understand concept or how an LLM intelligence understand and don't understand stuff. There's a lot of things they don't understand. You have to understand that and then make it more available to them. But you can start creating value without having done a PhD in data science. And that's a new thing. LLM has changed the game on that. So we believe more and more people will request access to that LLM core aspect of the product so that they can start benefiting from the solution that integrates with their interaction with the agents, communicates results, but give them an opportunity to actually try stuff as well. So we think that's coming as a demand from the market, not right now, but it's coming in probably soon enough.
Great. I think that's a good place to end things. Thank you for joining me today, Emmanuel, and thanks to our viewers for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to the channel and keep an eye on cxtoday.com for more stories like these. Until next time, thank you for watching.